this on. Alright, so.
Okay, well the dismount was a little shaky, but I got out
A little bit different now.
unscathed and not wet. So,
Are you by yourself? Or are you raised as an only child?
alright, there it is.
I would admit
This is a 90, this is an old model.
not
What
to
I like about it the most
cause
is
a
that
problem
it's
to
9 feet.
myself. Huh.
You good. All it is flat pontoon.
Now if I can get this door closed,
Flat
I'll
pontoon.
be able to understand.
But the stability,
That needs to have a different type of latch.
wonderful. And the skirt keeps you dry. And
Prepare my theater
you have
on
in
the
this
theater
house,
moment.
you gotta make quick movements, losing the gear. At least the only thing you lose is your
Still
gear.
got
So
some fishing to do.
skirt with pockets, recommended.
How are you using this fishing? Are you using it as the word fishing? Or are you using the word as
Plastics.
two meanings in one? How are you using this word? Let's
There it is. I think I should have
start
put
with that.
it back maybe another 2.
Well, the best way, I got right into a conversation.
Maybe about a foot back.
I got an invisible mic
But I wanted to
with
make
no
sure it's
video.
tight. And I still gotta secure
How
it.
can we make this understood?
Those are screw mounts.
Meaning that your understanding is understood. What does that mean? Nothing. It's a riddle. A riddle of nothing. How'd I go from fishing to a riddle of nothing? The fish is the bonus.
Leverage is still right there.
Starts off with nothing.
So I take the pressure off of the screws. And I put some
Now just
horseshoe
let's see
shape
here.
or
Trying to get this door to close, and I'm ready to just sit back and do a fishing moment when you don't do anything that you normally do. That's an excuse to make a mistake, or an excuse to accept failure. That's a strong word. Gotta be strong. It's just strong words.
resecure that. That's the only thing that I need to
Well,
secure. Other than that, very happy.
why'd I come in here
Very happy.
to get the introduction?
Sail
Sitting around, spinning around,
water.
trying to move in a straight line, spinning like a top.
That needs to be
Right about now, multiple equations that you must solve.
Alright, there she is.
How do you deal with excitement? Some deal with it well, some deal with it not so well. You gotta distinguish what you mean by excitement. There's a whole lot of other subtitle that goes underneath that. It's the beginning process of critical thinking. That's what you call it. Figure it out. That doesn't work all the time.
Alright, 21 feet.
Some people want to be submerged in it directly. The only way you can experience it is actually experiencing it. No one wants to be in that type of illusion all the time. But then you can't come out of it.
Right in front of me.
And you're creating
That's probably where
things.
the shelf is at.
Because I the fuck kind of not dealing with situations like that. Fishing is an outlet that keeps you glued together.
Maybe another 100 feet.
You have to have an outlet in addition to the things you solve.
16, 19 feet of
That's
water.
not associated to the things you do every day. And the fish is the bonus. If you eat fish or if you take pictures or whatever the case.
Good enough for me.
A little bit of both.
Got a lot of travel activity.
All of it pretty much acceptable. But fishing is fun. Make sure you take care of your chores.
21 feet.
Designate you a day or two. Give yourself a couple of minutes or to an hour if you're near the water,
Right in front of me.
or a bank, creek, or a slough, or a ditch, whatever the case may be.
Right in front of me once again.
Something that holds
Just ate
fish.
another. Good for
Fish it
something.
out.
About 75 feet.
I got, what, 5 years now? Shit sound a little bit different than when I started. And life has gone through what?
Ounce and a half of
Don't even want to say the word. 2000 and late, mid, early 20s.
Right.
How about that?
And to the left.
And what do you do while you're still being pulled and tugged and spun around?
Let's see what we can find.
You go fishing if you can. That's what I found. Make it sound like an alternative. Maybe sometimes it can be offered as that. It's better if it's volunteered. Not like the Navy. Never again volunteer yourself. But it's soothing if you've been on the water. And it's easy to show it than to tell it. It sounds like you're kind of tired. Ice storm. It's taking over so much time on the water. Gotta wait a week to set sail. Content behind closed doors. Oh, okay. You ain't caught it. Fishing club. Where you're not catching the fish, but you're catching something else, so you're after something else to learn how to catch it. So you really ain't catch it. Fishing club. On the shoreline, on the beach, ideals. And just talk about you ain't catch it. Fishing club. Non-sponsored by, but endorses its products. There you go. Entertainment purposes, educational, if applies. You don't put no music in the background because you don't ever want to deal with a copyright. Now music is monetized. It was fighting the court of how you can copyright a note. Well, they copyright a note, and so a lot of these videos that we use, the app that came along with the music of the videos, and they came with the app to choose out music, and now your video's flagged as copyright. That would be why. So use a commercial grade, costs a little extra money. Use their app. They'll guarantee you that you should not be having any copyright issues. Now they push a button, and everything that has a song that belongs to that copyright, the algorithm will categorize it. The algorithms will categorize it as fishing forward for content creators. And so, don't use no music. Stay in a neutral background with no signage of any type of marine boats or name brands or anything. And just fish. And just put in the comments, I do not endorse these products, but I may talk about them from time to time. And that's all you gotta say. because this is what I use, and I found that this has been very helpful. There you go. There you go. Getting closer and closer to the fishing life stories. You ain't catch shit. Fishing club. Where I endorse the products, but I don't get paid by the products. I just like this name. I just happen to like the logo. Well, I just like the. I'm sure maybe it might be. I don't know, but that's a word that we use in everyday just lingo. Well, it's where we talk about you ain't caught shit. Fishing. Or you ain't caught it. Fishing association. What? What? I'd rather just go ahead and just get me an endorsement eventually, and we can come to a mutual monetarized agreement. Until then, I like that sticker. I use it and I put it in my videos. I appreciate it if you like it too. I'm looking forward. I'm gonna do some casting. Bank casting. I'm not catching fish on the bank. Not at this time. It's gotta be you gotta be in the river. For whatever they're doing, they're not hanging out close to shore. But I'm gonna go get some casting distance, so when I get in the river, when I'm used to handling the reel and the rod, when I do get in the river, whatever fish that I can catch with this saltwater brand style that I'm applicating it for the river, freshwater river, not a lake, not a pond, but a 5-knot winter river. Anchoring system got to come off or you'll flip over and tip over. No second goes, no second chance. And you will get hung up and lose a lot of lead in the bottom of the river until we come up with an alternative, conscious-minded scheduling. How often I might lose lead and not do it in a large commercial fashion. So being in the water, higher percentage of getting your items returned to you if you get snagged. I use heavy line. The heaviest line I use is 85 pounds. But that one's going to go on my bank rod for right now. It's a long shaft for the surf. It loads and spring loads and holds.
All right, here we go. Finally. Now, if my memory serves me right, I noticed I've been in this water for a while. It's all.
I'm not trying to break it. That's the problem. It's not going to break. But you find the perfect lead size that gets you the nicest distance consistently. And that's what you put on that 65 pound. Until that, you put jewelry on there. And jewelry is just cable connections with a swivel hook on it, as if you're going to catch a large fish. And then you can put a 30-pound swivel release catch on it, nothing with a permanent hook catch on it. There's a difference. One is a straight wire and one has a bend on the end. The one that has a bend on the end is to lock it in place. That design would likely cause you to break your line, and you're going to lose everything. And it's just a matter of giving that up. Well, dissolving hooks. So that the fish comes around, they nibble on the food that gets trapped down there, and they get hooked on there. Those hooks are designed to dissolve within a day. Well, I put them in a water container and checked it. So they don't eat for maybe 12 hours, maybe. So they'll be really hungry when they get ready to eat because it would have dissolved by then or broken off where they have to fight from a predator. It'll snap off without ripping their jaw. Or whatever the case may be. But you get your line back and everything else stays there. Then you got to re-rig. And that's from the bank side. In the kayak, now you're dealing with the current. Now you threw it way out in the middle of the doggone lane, and it comes back to you about maybe 8 to 10 feet sinking radius with the current pushing it 4 knots, 5 knots, miles per hour. You're sitting back right off the shelf. You threw it right over the shelf, and now it has at least a 45-degree bend in it, downward. So you got to clear the shelf, and then you got to clear the debris that it drags into before it begins to lift up out of the shelf. That's why you got to pull back really hard, and you got to have your drag, which is going to put wear and tear on your reel. You got to have your drag cinched down, and you got to pull that out of there. Now, a disc sinker lead kind of glides through there, little flat but smoother. A pyramid, it catches water. There's a flat surface coming up. What I would suggest is bending the edges, smoothing out the edges so they're not 90-degree points. It'll cause it to do kind of like a helicopter or a propeller spin, and have it on an 8-bead catch. Because it's going to spin and spin and spin and spin when you pull that up, and it's going to put line tangle in your line, and you do not want that. And your big reel is already putting line entanglement in your line because it's pulling in a foot per crank. Maybe a foot and a half. This is an 800 pin. 8,000, I mean. One of those. Not that I'm endorsed by these products, but I've used these products. They're in my videos. So you bend the lead so that it can pull up easier. And you crank and you pull it straight up. Sometimes you'll get and you yank on it. And a way to get the best leverage. Here comes the slow talk because it's intensive. Because the thinking was quiet for a very long time. How do you get the leverage sitting on top of the water like a bobber? You don't get leverage in a kayak unless you're directly underneath the item. If you're pulling it towards you, if you cast it straight out in front of you, you get snagged and you got to pull it towards you, there's no leverage. You'll sure, like, most likely break your line. Most likely. That's what happens when you're on the bank, shore side. On the kayak, you release your anchor and you kayak to it while you're pulling your line in. And you get right above it if you can. Just try to get a straight diagonal 90 degrees as possible. And then you kayak directly behind it, or 45-degree angle, either up river or down river, and then you pull. And if it's lodged, if the hook is face down, lodged forward in a rock or on a branch, it will snatch it back. Because the hook is not, the barb is not penetrating. It could be like a sewing needle effect on some items. Then you're just going to lose that entire. Your line is going to break if it does like a sewing. You get. That's why I like the type of hooks I like are circle hooks, not the little ones, because you don't want little fish. You want to get 2.5 pounds. But I tell you, at 0.75 to a 0.5, half a pound, those little fish are feisty. They eating. They know they got to get big. So they eating everything. They eating off of hooks that 3-pound fishes aren't supposed to be caught on. And these little jokers are getting hooked on. But the survival rate until you become a master of removing these hooks out of their gullet and their gills without any collateral damage, you really got to focus on that. So I prefer to use larger hooks versus smaller hooks. Sometimes I'll get desperate and I will throw a smaller hook in there, but that's when I know I have the tools I need that's going to best suit the situation to get the hook removed. That's when I will use those smaller hooks. Sometimes you'll catch huge fish on on smaller hooks. Let me say that again. Sometimes you'll catch huge fishes on smaller hooks, circle hooks preferably. And if they get snagged and some fish attaches itself to it because of the bait that's still on that hook, those hooks dissolve in half a day. They begin to break down immediately. Now they got some different types, but I don't know the name brands. I just support the designs and the style. And it's up to you to learn the density of the wires and how long it takes for it to dissolve. You're not going to eat every fish. I mean, it'd be nice to eat every fish, and I did eat every fish. It's called the excitement of the fishing aspects. Was I catching to kill, or was I catching to feed myself? When I had to catch myself, I had to answer that question. Because we was eating everything we caught. You know, we didn't waste too much. We still got some potential crab. Yeah. Once I go through the freezer, take inventory. For 5 good years, I took a year and a half off to make sure I didn't have an addiction of just trying to pull something out of the water. No, I really enjoy it. Just with or without it. Gotta go cast this rod. You gotta get efficient, well, not efficient or proficient. Just gotta get enjoyed with this equipment. You gotta go cast this rod. The seasons change, it gets warmer, you get out of the ice cabin fever, bear and hibernation, everything in slow motion. And there's still fishing that you can do. Ice fishing. Nope. Things that make sense to me after experiencing mishaps on and off the water. More so on the water. Different experience. But it may be unforgiving. Even with those buoys, I'm still thinking to go get out the water. Even surf fishing. It can grab you. What I mean by that, surf fishing just get you so wrapped up in the omniscience of enjoying the crash, the frequency, the water, the temperature, and next thing you know, the tidal is the factor. The water draws out and the water draws back in, and next thing you know, you're not in sequence of your safety. You're not in sequence of understanding danger. And next thing you know, you wait a little bit, the water rises really fast and it gets cold and it locks your legs in place. And the sand can get underneath your feet. And then all of a sudden it can draw so far back, and when it pulls back into the ocean, it feels like you can't move. And that's water that comes up to your thigh. And then the next two sets are up higher. And that water that was at your thigh is now at your mid waist, and it's touching your waist. And it's getting higher and higher each time it comes in, each time those sets come in. Next thing you know, you out past 5 feet and you didn't even know it. And you got it pulling you. I was in the middle of a rip current that was developing, and the draw of that rip current pulling out to the ocean was so great, I had to turn around. I had to say, give up the pole? No way. That's my fishing pole. What else am I going to fish with? Give up my fish bag? Nope, didn't have no fishes in my fish bag. No extra weight on me. Well, I can't be looking out to sea direction for some reason, fighting the current that's pulling out to sea. It was pulling me out to sea, and I was trapped in sand because as it was pulling it out to sea, it was brushing the sand over your feet. So I had to turn to look at where I want to be at, and I had to look at where I wanted to go, and I had to focus on getting there, not standing in the direction looking at the waves getting taller and taller. And the water got up to my mid-chest, and I started kicking my feet, and then it drew out so it came down to my waist. The deepest part of that wave was up to my mid-chest. The lowest part of that wave was at my waist. At my waist, I thought I was safe. Next thing you know, the highest part of those waves coming in and crashing varies. It was up to my mid-chest, and I turned around at that time and said, "Oh, I gotta get out of here. Oh, just a couple more casts," because I was throwing a 3-ounce Craftmaster silver, and I was getting distance. It was a windy day too, and raining, and I was getting distant, and the water was warm. It wasn't cold. It was very warm. And so now mixing up the two situations, the warning before the incident actually happened. The warning was I was in shin-high water 2-3 weeks before that incident, no, a month maybe before the actual incident, and the water was pulling really hard. I had a hard time getting out, and it was not even up to my thigh. And I was going against towards the shoreline, because I wasn't going out very deep. And it pulled so hard that I said, I got to turn around, use the force of the sand that is being pulled out to the ocean, because I have no footing, and dig my toe into it. So it'll put some type of a step, like I do a step ladder, like a stepping platform, and get a little bit lower, and then anchor the back leg like that. Like running out a set of track blocks, but letting the water create those blocks for you. You had to really think of the angle. You had to get your footing right too. That was the only thing that stopped me from getting tired, because you'll give up, and then when you give up, you'll fall. It'll look like wow, why they look like they just fall? Because you give up. Your legs are tired, and then you get pulled out to sea, because you're in a ball, you're in a roll, and you're just going to be roll, and by the next thing you know, you are above your head. Now you got to swim, and the water might be like 2 feet above your head, but it's now you're like a bobber, and it's thermal weather. This is the wintertime I was fishing in, and it doesn't get higher temperature or fishing at. It doesn't get higher than 62 degrees. So that water is still like 55 degrees. I was doing my surf fishing and I was enjoying it so much. Went back 2, 3 weeks later. Conditions should have been no go. And I'm loading the rod up, 2, 3 ounce Castmaster. I'm gonna get some good distance. How'd I get out of that situation? And I was bobbing at one point, jumping out of the water to get some kind of lift. And when you're laying back down, that lift would have pulled you back 3 feet. That's why you always gotta stay in contact with the sand. And hopefully you endure the high part of that low wave. And hopefully that was the 2 high sets that comes in, and you got 3 little sets that come in, and you try to time the 3 little sets that come in because it won't be so high up on you. And when those 2 little sets come in, you notice water levels drop slightly. When you put the most effort into getting out. You try to run track on the bottom of the sand to get out any way possible, because the next 2 sets that are coming are going to be the 2 high sets. You have 3 low sets and then 2 high sets. And that's how I figured out how to get out without panicking. Now, if I would have hooked a fish, fishing life, baby. Yeah, but if I would have hooked a fish, I think I would have panicked because it would have yanked and it would have pulled me back about 10 feet with the water being no gravity easily. Any motion in a direction, and the water will continue that direction. So yeah, that was a blessing that I didn't catch. But if I would have caught, open the bell. Then you're spreading line all in the water, and there's gravity current forces that are pulling line off of that bell. So you may not want to open the bell, because what might happen is that the line might be spooled out and it might catch you. And then it tangles up your legs, and you're not going to break 65 pounds, and that's a guarantee bye-bye. Hate to say it like that, but that's a guarantee. So never open your bell. Not good advice. Not while you're surf fishing, that is. You can open your bell when you're in the river on a kayak. You want to be stuck like that, not like this. So anyway, the 2 low sets came, and I started seeing progress. Then the 2 high sets came. They didn't go over my head. They will just show little underneath my chest, closer towards my hip area. And I was like, okay, getting bigger. That's how I look at it. Getting bigger. Getting bigger, getting bigger, getting bigger, getting bigger. That's how I looked at it. So when you go out to the water, you're actually going to be smaller. Almost mean you're nothing. All these high expectations of stuff, you're absolutely nothing when it comes to you going to the water. And if you notice, you're big on land. You get out there far enough, you're a little spectacle in water. A little fish food if things don't work out right. And they got their little cleanup crew. They got their little garbage service. Break you down to you won't be wasted. Let's put it that way. And even your clothes, they may not be wasted either. But the majority of you will be well preserved, well eaten. Dang. Well, we catch fish, and that's what we do to them, ain't it? And so that water is to be highly. Oh, it's time to go. The alarm clock. Fishing time. The month of January. Our first cycle of ice. Well, a little bit of snow turned to ice. Now it's melting. Temperature is up to 40 degrees. With a little shelter. I use this product, but I'm not endorsed by this product. Under the Weather. It's called Under the Weather Pod. It works. 40-degree weather. Your body temperature raised at 40-degree weather, even if it's blowing 8 knots. That's pretty good. 8 knots is really good. I mean, it's blowing more than 3. You shouldn't be out there in that. I mean, you can be out there, and the heaviest wind gust that I felt with that was right around 15 knots. You're not fishing, but you definitely don't want to be out there with that. And this day was like 8 knots, and it was very comfortable. My body temperature rose up the inside by another another 2 degrees. And then if you're lucky to have sun breaks, that's why you go at a certain time of the day. You get those little, if you're on the weekend, sometimes off, certain times, I mean, it's fish great in the early morning, yeah, but I noticed the majority of the good catches in the winter times is right when the temperature shifts to a little bit warmer. And there's a sun break in there on this cloudy weather, and then you get a sun break. You're fishing very comfortable, very warm. If you're cold, that's the moment you want to be sitting inside your pod, because the reflection of the plastic microwaves and heats up the air. Oh, scientific. NASA. I mean, can I say that? I don't know. Yeah, it's comfortable. It's very comfortable. It's fishing life. But we'll get back to what's current, because the ocean is still there. Ooh, wait, look what we got here. Nice, nice. Hold on. I'm gonna get you off the hook here in a minute. Nice. My PB right here. No. Keep yourself steady. Welcome aboard. Alright. There we go. Make sure no hooks get into me messing with you. Secure the hook. There you go. That was my fish. That's what I was waiting on. That's the one that broke me off. Came back for you. Well, let's see what we got here. Had to come to my secret hideout. Take care of all that noise. You want to go fish? You want to go fish in peace? Well, let's take a little back walk through a trail up the mountains around the path where no one else will know where you at. You want to go fish? I think I want to fish. Well, let's go fish and hide ourselves. Hopefully the water's not too high and I can enjoy this. All right, let's see what we got to do here. We got to take the goat path. The goat path. Yeah, I call this my goat path. Let's see if got enough room to go fishing in. Enough room to go fishing in. Oh my goodness, are you serious? All right, serious as a heart attack. Gotta be careful because we got security. Oh my goodness, caught my hand on the vines. Oh, what's that? Security. What's the password? Fishing life, or you may enter. Fishing life, or you may proceed. Or fishing life. Well, keep it going then, please. All right, let's do this, baby. Let's do this. Water looks high. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fish on the bank side. We want to get somewhere. We we might catch our biggin. Oh, look at here. Look at for a place to sit and chill. Well, I think that's check mark number 2. How about that over there? Oh, can't get over there. Oh, someone left me a sit-down carpet. All right, there. Sit-down carpet just for me. I think I'll place it right there and have me a squat and a chill place. No fuss, no muss. Enough. Let's get this water on. Let's get some weight in the ground on the fishing. I'm getting lethargical. You know what you're talking about? No, not really, but we're going to find out. That's what it's about. Learning as I go. Have some fun. Life is too short. Well, we got a little moment going, making our fishing puddles here a little better. Let's drop off some rocks, baby, from the Oregon Wildlife truck. What we got going on here? Definitely not fishing. A lot of running through activity. We're gonna do a little bank fishing if we can get a chance. Y'all get out the way, please. Get out the way, please. Bank fishermen are near and by. Let's make this a chronicle. Is this an area that we can fish in? You've been through here making a lot of noise, scaring away my fish, my man. Get on up out of here. Fishing life, baby. Check this out. We got a high water condition. Wintertime fishing. What would I say to this? Kayak. Why is that? Because this is unfishable. You're going to hang up and lose a lot of lead weight. $1 an ounce is what they charging nowadays. 3-ounce lead is $3. So I'm not cheap. Fishing shouldn't be expensive. You get upset, make your own lead if you can. But check this out. Got a lot of debris. Got fog. That's why I can't get into the water. It's dangerous. No one can see you. Can't even see across the bank right now. But I'm still going to fish, you know. It's what I do. I love fishing. Fishing life. Conditions. Hazardous conditions. Life baby, adjusting all the time. Adapting to the situation and overcome. I don't see anything busting on the top surface this morning. And believe it or not, it's only 11 o'clock a.m. This should be burning off by 2, I hope. But I'm still gonna get me a line in the water and what that line that is. So let's get it. Let's get it. Fishing life doesn't stop. It never stops. Let's get it. A lot of debris here, so we're gonna go somewhere else though. That's my fishing report. A lot of noise though. You know, scare my fish. Might be my biggin for the day. Gotta see what's going on. Gotta see what's happening. I might catch my biggin today. You never know. You gotta wet that line. Get that line wet. Get on that bank. Let's go that way. Up the trail we go. Have fun. Life is too short. All right, here we go. Finally. Now, if my memory serves me right, and I notice I've been in this water for a while, there's all gravel, little rocks in front of me. I haven't caught anything on this side of the bridge. But let's see what happens, right? Nice. All right, we're gonna let it soak. Wait for that little tinker pull. Hopefully I didn't go over the shelf because that's a hang up. And the water doesn't seem to be too swift. Yeah, it is. My line is, I threw my line right there. My line already went way over here. That's fishing, right? I bought a 6-ounce teardrop. One out lead. Uh-oh, there we go. I can feel the bottom scraping. So all right, so I didn't get over the lead, so I don't have to worry about, well, if I do, I got it attached to the hardware jewelry. So I'm pulling and yanking on this 80-pound line to get my stuff back. Let's see what we catch. Can you see that? I don't think you can. That's 10 feet of water with no fish indications. Oh, there goes one little fish. At least I know how deep it is now. Now I can work with something. And I can see that the current is pulling. Now, so I had to go to a 5-ounce lead just to keep it straight. Oh, whoa. Calm it down. Whoa. 5 ounces worth it. 2 ounce kept drifting in a larger hook size. Took 2 out. Hold on, don't want to lose no gear messing with you. Admirable size, about 2 pounds maybe. Beautiful day. Well, she said her buddy down the way would be able to point me in the right direction, so let's see here. Just looking for a nice little place to launch. Oh, there's her buddy right there. How you doing there today? Heard there was some good fishing over here. Yeah? Yeah, your friend up the way just said to come check you out. He said the direction you walk in is where the fish is in the direction to fish in at. Oh, okay. You don't say. Well, let me see here. Looks like a pretty good fishy place. Well, I think for all the advice you gave me, looks like a very good place to fish at. I'll go ahead and unload and get my gear out and see what I can find. Yeah, I knew y'all was pretty friendly out here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and your friend. Have a good day, okay? Say, excuse me. Looking for the fish. You know where the fish is at? Can you help me out? I heard that they was up this road here. No? Alright, well, didn't mean to bother you. You have a great day, okay? Tell your buddies I said I appreciate you. Well, my first observation looks like a long flat. Looks like it gets deep right about there. All this other area out here is just a long flat. So all this in here is just not gonna be too many fish up in there. So I'm going to travel right about there. But the current flows right through there. Current break on the shelf, right through there. There's only one way to find out.